guys, my name is Courtney and I am the six-figure content creator coach. And one of the most popular questions that I always get asked when I tell people that I'm a content creator is everyone wants to know how I started. And so I thought I would share this story with you guys because I think that it's important for you to hear my story as a coach so that you can see where I started. But I also share my story because this is a perfect example of how jumping feet first into a career that you know nothing about can be almost tragic if you are not careful. So let's jump into the story. So I started out as a content creator about 7 years ago, and I kind of fell into it by accident. So I used to work for an airline, and I don't know if you know this, but when you work for an airline, one of the perks, because it doesn't pay that well, is you get to fly for free anywhere that airline travels. So I was doing a lot of traveling. I had just graduated nursing school, so I had a lot more free time and flexibility. And your girl was jet setting. I was literally going somewhere probably every month, every other month. And so I started posting my travels on Facebook and Instagram and just kind of giving people tips and sharing some of the places that I was going. And one day, out of the blue, I got an email from a major hotel brand and they were like, "Hey, Courtney, we saw your content on Facebook and we would love to fly you and your daughter out to spend a couple days at our resort and to shoot some content." Now, influencer marketing and content creation, social media was so new to me that I didn't even realize that this was a thing. And so my instant thought, because I am very skeptical, is I was like, this has got to be a scam. There's no way that this is real. And so honestly, I ignored the email. I didn't even respond back to it. I think I actually deleted it. And so I remember sitting at work one day. At this point, I was a nurse. I was a discharge planner. I was working for Cedars-Sinai Hospital. And I had a job that had some flexibility, but I very much still had a 9-to-5, corporate job. So I remember sitting at my desk one day and I got another email from the contact at this hotel. And she was like, "Hey, Courtney, not sure if you saw our email, but I wanted to follow up with you one last time. If you could get back to us tomorrow by noon, we would love to get your itinerary booked." And so again, me being the person who I am, completely skeptic. So I remember getting off from work that day early and going home. And the one thing about me is I'm a huge researcher. Like, I will research the hell out of something. So I remember jumping on to Google and Facebook and I just started researching, getting paid to travel, getting paid as a blogger. And I randomly fell inside of this private Facebook group. To this day, I don't even know how I ended up getting accepted because I had no experience whatsoever. They just randomly accepted me when I applied. So I fell into this random Facebook group, and I remember in the group, people were talking about getting paid. And I was like, wait a minute, this is real? This is a real thing? People are out here actually getting paid to do this for a job. And so I spent that a whole night, up, I think until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just researching. And so finally that morning when I went to work, I emailed the lady back and I was like, yes, 100%. I am totally on board. Would love to hear more about the opportunity. And she got back to me right away with the contract and she booked me. And I literally booked my very first travel partnership. Now, back then, I did not realize that the amount of money that you could get paid for partnership. So the pay that I got paid, I think back then was $500, which was pennies on the dollar compared to what I make now. But it was $500 and they covered my hotel for 3 days, as well as airfare for both me and my daughter, as well as all of our food and all of our activities while we were there. So in my mind, it was a complete win. So me and my daughter, we got our itinerary a couple days later and we booked our flights, or they booked our flights, and we flew out there and we spent 3 days at this resort on property, and they wined and dined us and we had the most amazing experience ever. And I remember coming home and I went back to the work the next day, and I remember sitting at my desk thinking, I don't want to be here. That was the most amazing experience of my life and I really want to do this full time. So the other thing about me, which you will learn if you coach with me or you continue to follow me on social media, is I am very impulsive. When I get my mind set on something, I am definitely one of those sink or swim type of people. I am going to get it done, hook or by crook. I don't care. I'm going to get it done. And so I did the craziest thing I have probably ever done in my entire life. I went to work the next day and I quit my job. I told my boss, I was like, hey, I got this amazing opportunity and I really want to take advantage of it. Luckily at the time, my boss was hella cool and he had actually been following my travel adventures. And he was like, okay, how about we do this? He goes, how about we take a leave of absence for 6 months? We'll hold your position. And at the end of the 6 months, if you find that you really love it, then great, you can walk away and you don't have to worry about it. If for some reason you decide that it's not for you and you want to come back, you're more than welcome to come back. So I did. I took a 6-month unpaid leave of absence. And I became a full-time content creator. Now, during that time, so this was probably back in, I think, September or October. So actually it was in October. So in October, I quit my job. I started working with a bunch of networks. I hadn't discovered the art of pitching yet. So I was just doing a lot of network campaigns and honestly, I was getting burnt out. Like I was shooting probably 6, 7, 8 campaigns a week. Because at the time it wasn't paying that much. It was only paying like $250, $150, $300, right? So I was burning myself out. And keep in mind, I was living in California at the time, one of the most expensive cities in the United States. And I left an $80,000 a year nursing job to be a content creator. Did I also mention that I'm a single mom? Yeah, so probably not the smartest decision that you could ever make. So watch this video and the takeaway that you should get from this is don't be like me. Luckily it worked out. So I remember sitting there in October, November, and December, I was slammed. I was so busy. I had campaigns back to back. I worked with so many brands. It was the most amazing experience of my life. And I could not believe that I had stumbled onto this amazing new career. Then that's when I learned something that as a new content creator, I did not know. So when I started out, I started in October, which in the content creation world, we run off of quarters. So we've got Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Q4 is what content creators like to call the Super Bowl of content creation. It's where all of these brands and ad agencies, they're running through the end of their marketing budgets. They're really trying to tap into holiday retail shopping. So they are literally just throwing money at content creators. This is the time where content creators make the most money. So I was really reaping the benefits of that. But what I did not realize was after Q4 comes the dreaded Q1, which is basically famine, okay? There's like literally no work. All the brands have run through their marketing budgets. A lot of them are just now getting in their new budgets. So they are planning out their budgets for the next year and finding out how many content creators they can hire, what kind of campaigns they can run. And so I went from making all of this money to literally zero in a matter of months. Unfortunately, I did not have a lot of money saved. I think I maybe had like $7,000 in the bank, which is not a lot of money when you live in California and your rent is like $2,500 a month. So I was freaking out. I was in total panic mode. And I just remember sitting at my kitchen table, bawling my eyes out, thinking I had made the worst mistake of my entire life. But I didn't. I ended up, I work best when my back is against the wall. And so I really just threw myself into this and I learned everything that I could about negotiating and pitching and how to find contacts for brands so that I could pitch more. I got help in the areas where I wasn't as strong in. So I did a lot of outsourcing, affordable outsourcing, which I offer coaching on and I teach about as well. And flash forward now 7 years later, I've been a content creator for 7 years. I've grown my following from about 1,000 followers when I first started to about 78,000 followers across Instagram. I have worked with well over 500 brands. If there is a brand with a budget, chances are I have worked with them. Everything from travel, lifestyle, fitness, health, nursing, fashion, food, like you name it, I have worked in that demographic. And along the way, I have coached a lot of other new content creators as well as seasoned content creators who are looking to grow their business into a six-figure business, but they're just really struggling on how to make that work. So if you are interested in taking your social media and making it work for you and making this really, grow and become your next business, I'm here to tell you it is 100% possible. You just have to be dedicated and you have to put in the work and you have to find the resources and the right people to lead you along the way. I made so many mistakes when I first started that I wish I had someone like me who could have walked me through it and helped me save a lot of money, because mistakes cost money, mistakes cost time. So if you are serious about this business, consider booking a coaching session with me. I offer 1 hour coaching as well as 5 hour blocks. I also offer an 8-week mentorship program where I hold your hand for 8 weeks and I teach you everything that you need to know to start off as a content creator, everything from how to set up your business, how to set your rates, how to shoot content, how to pitch brands, the whole 9 yards. We go over it in 8 weeks. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check out the link down below. Other than that, that is my story of how I started as a content creator. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I will see you around on social media. Until next time, bye.